There can be a lot of confusing information about where you should be getting your food. And today, I've got 3 truths and 1 big lie about shopping at the farmer's market on the Carefree Cooks Code. I'm Chef Todd Moore, and this is the Carefree Cooks Code, every Tuesday live at noon Eastern. Here's our challenge. How can home cooks cook freely with creativity, confidence, and pride while ignoring recipes and still impressing themselves and others with what they cook? Well, the answer is found in becoming empowered with how cooking works, using dependable and repeatable methods of cooking that work for any ingredient, for any diet, and any desire, just like chefs do. And we'll know we've cracked it when everyone sees cooking as an exciting and rewarding way to improve their relationships, their lifestyles, and their health through better food and cooking. This is the Carefree Cooks Code. Oh, yeah. Welcome back, everybody. I'm so happy. I can't tell you how glad I am. Welcome back to the Carefree Cooks Code, everyone. This is the weekly show for the methods, the techniques, and insights into better food and cooking. And of course, we're live every Tuesday at noon Eastern. You want to look for past videos, go to the archive on Facebook. It's facebook.com/chef.todd.moore/videos. Why do I do this? I only took 1 week off. I thought I needed a week off to recharge. I found that I couldn't wait to get back together with my family, my Carefree Cooking family, all us kitchen dwellers from all over the world. Why do we do this? Because we're Carefree Cooks. We create our own recipes. It brings friends and family together. You wind up learning every time you cook. That's the one I like more than any other. You create your own cooking style because you practice pro methods. You wind up loving your cooking. That's the way it is. I am so glad to be back, and thank you. Thank you for the hundreds of birthday wishes and all the great meals that were made in my honor. I can't tell you how touched I am by your kindness, by people reaching out from all over the world to be kind to me. It's really touching. I'm not going to get mush today. I enjoyed my birthday week off. It was really nice. I liked that it was an opportunity, I thought, to have other people cook for me for a change. I mean, you may remember that I cooked every single meal I ate for 18 months or so before I went to a restaurant. I had a hamburger, didn't sit with me too well, but now for my birthday, I went out to a restaurant, which I've done, 5 or 10 times at most, rarely once a week, but it's a celebration, right? So we go out to a restaurant, somebody else cooks for me, and no matter how high the level of the restaurant or the burger joint or the dock and dine that I did, I gotta tell you something. My cooking is much better. There's just no doubt about it anymore. And by the looks of the photos that you sent me, your cooking is much better than restaurants now too. Restaurants are sucking. I mean, they are having such a difficult time getting staff, getting skilled people. And I'll tell you why. This isn't the topic I wanted to touch on today, but I'm already off on a tangent because I was so freaking hopped up to be back online with you today. Restaurant workers have realized it's a crappy job. They want more money. They deserve more money. They want better hours. They deserve better hours. And this is why restaurants are hurting. And this is why it is the best time to be cooking at home. I always used to say, as a chef, I have to encourage you to patronize your local restaurant to help other chefs. I don't say that anymore. I feel badly for chefs, but the restaurant industry has got to catch up. Okay, let's get down off that soapbox, all right? After 14 months of eating nothing but my own cooked food that I get from the best sources, it's important to me, I'm finding it really difficult to enjoy restaurant food again. And when I started thinking about this, I thought, it must be happening to Carefree Cooks everywhere. Locked out of restaurants, enjoying your own kitchen more and more. Your cooking increases more and more. You get a greater skill set. And now you're finding that you can duplicate restaurant meals. You can make them even better than the restaurant does. And you know what? You save a ton of time and money in the process. Every check I got this week was over $100. And I looked at it and I was like, really not worth it. It happens to all of us in our cooking. And today we're going to talk about how to get the best ingredients that maybe the restaurant might not be getting, so your food is that much better. But first, I've got a true or false for you today. Tell me in the comments section below, please, is this statement true or false? Sweet potatoes are much healthier to eat than white potatoes. Tell me in the comments section below, true or false. You just got to type one word. True or false. Don't tell me an explanation. True or false. That's all you got to type there. Okay. Yeah, anybody can go to Wikipedia while I'm talking and then cut and paste. In your head, true or false. All right, look. Here's the thing. Once your cooking yields the results that you're really proud of, that again are probably better than your local restaurant and better than you've ever cooked before, because we've done this quarantine thing. We've been locked in where all our skills got better. Did your sewing get better? Did your writing get better? Did your singing get better? All these things that you have to focus on. Well, now your cooking is better and it brings you joy to do it for yourself. It brings you joy to do it for others. And I'll tell you the next thing that's going to happen, one of the natural progressions that carefree cooks take is toward better, fresher, more wholesome, more nutritious foods. It's a natural progression. I see it all the time because once you're confident in how to cook, when you finally stop trusting recipes, when you adopt repeatable methods over written instructions, and when your cooking is great, no matter what you cook, right? It's not like the old way is, oh, I can make mac and cheese. But now it doesn't matter what you cook because your cooking is great every time. That's when you start looking for the best ingredients to really show off your carefree cooking. But there are 3 truths and one big lie about going to the farmer's market for better food. These things that might get in your way, because the grocery store, the grocery store has one truth. It's convenient, but it brings a lot of lies. How many times have you heard about products that were making health claims get removed off the shelves because of some court order? And those natural eggs from the antibiotic-fed chickens, are they your definition of natural? The grocery store is more advertising than advocacy. And I'm going to say that again. The grocery store is more advertising than advocacy. But right here, this is the place to go. Your local farmer's market is most often telling the truth because you can ask the guy that picked the tomatoes. You can talk to the guy that pulled the egg from under the chicken. You can speak to the woman that raised the hen or raised the cow, and they will tell you more about your food than any mega market employee. Hey, can you tell me where these eggs come from? The truck. Right? Because there are 3 main truths for farmers market shopping success, but you also got to be aware of that one big lie that's already in your head. So let's go over them quickly. Truth number 1, you need a flexible palate. You need a flexible palate to shop at the farmer's market. You're not going to be able to get everything all the time from local farmers. They're not trucked in, they're not flown in, they're not shipped in. They come out of the ground or the barn. So you might not be able to get some things at all, right? You went there because you wanted to make ratatouille and they have no eggplants, but that's okay. Because the truth is that you should approach your visit with an open mind and an open palate. So I call it listless shopping. Not like listless, but without a list. You know, when I go to the farmer's market, I'm not trying to pick things off a list. I'm picking the things that are best, and then I go home and make something out of it. So with a little awareness, you can recognize which items are freshest, which are in season. Talk to them. Ask them what's in season, because these are the ones that are going to yield the most food enjoyment. And this is a dramatic change of thought for a lot of people who buy ingredients for a recipe rather than creating a recipe from the ingredients available. That's the biggest shift in farmer's market. So you got to pay attention to the season to get the biggest benefits in the farmer's market. If your broccoli has a rubber band on it that says Mexico, and you live in Canada in October, it might not be the freshest, but when you anticipate blueberry season, when you look forward to it like I do, you enjoy them fully for about 6 weeks or so, and then you just don't eat blueberries for the rest of the year. You know, I know you miss them, But that's seasonal eating. Strawberries, the 4 weeks of strawberry season are some of the best time of the year. But here's the thing. You got to set your mind to there's something else to discover. Expand your palate. You can't eat blueberries all year long. I don't know anyone who eats blueberry, but anyway, you have to discover something else. You have to move your your palate seasonally. And again, please don't confuse organic with local. God, I could go into this too. I want to do a 4-hour show today. Okay. Produce that has been labeled organic most often follows certain guidelines and has had the resources to even file for the label with the USDA. It costs thousands of dollars, if not tens of thousands of dollars. But many of your local farmers, they follow the exact same rules. They do the exact same things without searching for loopholes, but they don't go through the arduous and expensive process of securing a USDA label. So if it's local and it doesn't say organic or local, something that has a legal aspect to it, don't worry about it. The guy that grew it is right there. Ask him. Truth number 2, you need to bring cash. Okay, your local farmers, they're small business owners. They work really hard to provide wholesome food, and they should be rewarded for these efforts. Farming is hard. Go try and do it, and your food will be so much more valuable to you. When you use that credit card at the farmer's market, it gives the mega bank a 3% piece of the farmer's market. And most market purchases are under $10 anyway. Please don't be that person. Don't be the person who uses plastic to buy 3 apples. But the advantage of using cash to you is that it makes you much more aware of your purchases. The farmer's market ingredients are there for you. They're not waxed. They're not gassed. They're not preserved like the grocery store, so they don't have to spoil at the grocery store. They don't have any of these things, so they spoil more quickly at the farmer's market. And when you're spending cash, you're going to be limited to buy only what you're going to cook that week. There is no reason to stock up on a month's worth of farmers market foods, right? Next week's purchases are still in the ground today, and they'll be even fresher in 7 days. So spending cash helps you with a food budget because it's so easy to throw additional items into that shopping cart when you're just flashing your plastic as you go through the checkout line. But with cash, you got to make decisions between the items that you buy. And it's not because you can't afford more food. Like I used to bring $100 to the farmer's market because I knew anything much more than that, outside of expensive beef or things like that, anything much more than that, I knew I was wasting the money because I'd be wasting the food. I can't eat more than $100 worth of food at the farmer's market. And this is an advantage to shop with cash. Go old school, man. That's the advantage because only so many items are going to fit in your weekly meal plan. Okay, truth number 3 about the farmer's market, you need to learn how to cook. It's plain and simple. I know that sounds self-serving to me, but that's my mission. That's my creed in life. I speak with people all the time that want to take advantage of the farmer's market benefits, but they don't know how to cook so many of the ingredients there. And without confidence, they go back to recipes. And then recipes call for specific ingredients, and this pretty much negates the need for the farmer's market because you can't get everything there, like I said before. So a recipe brought to the farmer's market is pretty useless, actually. But you don't need to be a chef to learn to cook with the freshest ingredients. You don't need a higher level of skill than you already have just because the ingredients are better. As a matter of fact, it's easier to cook fresh food than packaged food. Fresh food reacts to the heat better than packaged food does. It changes colors, it coagulates, it caramelizes. It does this better than something that has been brined or sprayed or waxed. So when you concentrate, I'm just so giddy. It is what it is. When you concentrate on the basic methods of cooking, then you'll realize it doesn't matter what you're cooking when you know how to cook it correctly. So use a method, and the food doesn't matter. I've been saying this for more than 12 years. A fresh green bean is gonna taste better than a canned green bean, no matter how bad your cooking is, or no matter how good your cooking is, or no matter what you do to it. A fresh string bean is better than a canned string bean, no doubt. So to take advantage of this great local food, there are 3 skills that you're going to need in your kitchen. And first, of course, is knife skills. Knife skills are very important to shop at the farmer's market because your ingredients aren't going to come cut up for you. Okay? There's no perfectly cubed farmer's market ingredient. Second, you need to be able to replicate at least one basic cooking method. Just pick one for now. Grilling, saute, roasting, braising. And if you can consistently saute something, just one of these methods, you don't need to know all of them. You don't need a culinary degree. You need one. So if you can consistently saute something, well, it doesn't matter if it's chicken, beef, tofu, vegetables. It doesn't really matter. How you cook does not change when you plug something else in. Method stays the same. Third, you need to know how to make some sauces. Okay, so a good sauce can improve the flavor, the texture, the appearance of any cooked item. 3 things that you're going to need at the farmer's market. Knife skills, at least one repeatable method, and what was the third one? A sauce. That's right. So here it is. You've been wondering what the big lie is. Gee, Chef Todd, you're making the farmer's market sound so good. I'm looking at my canned green beans on the shelf right now, and I'm feeling a little guilty. Didn't mean to make you feel guilty today, but the big lie about the farmer's market is that it's too expensive. Please stop saying that. Stop it. Stop saying the farmer's market is too expensive. It's just not true. And I think this myth was started by people who shopped there once, maybe on a dare, and had spent their lives ignoring the prices at the grocery store because they could just flash that plastic, right? So they basically ignored prices at the grocery store, or they know a can of green beans is 79 cents if they bring their glasses, and then they go local for the first time and they start scrutinizing the prices. Never paid attention in the grocery store. Now all of a sudden at the farmer's market, they're paying attention. 1 pepper for $1.50, they say? Having paid even more by the pound at the grocery store last week. They haven't been paying attention. The farmer's market is not more expensive if you consider overall value. The farmer's market is not more expensive if you want to help your community. The farmer's market is not more expensive if you care about the earth. The farmer's market is not more expensive when you know the source of your food. It is not more expensive when you know what's in your food. The farmer's market is not more expensive when you eat only local and you stop snacking. Stop the potato chips. The farmer's market is not more expensive when you spend money on less important things. I hate when people tell me the farmer's market is expensive and I see how they waste money on other garbage. Not being judgy. Yeah, that kind of sounded judgy. I'm sorry, I apologize. But the farmer's market is not more expensive when you get the value of shopping with your family. Bring your kids to the farmer's market with you. They don't learn anything at the grocery store. They learn at the farmer's market. The farmer's market is not more expensive when you teach your children about good food. The farmer's market is not more expensive when they treat the animals well. The farmer's market is not more expensive when the workers are paid a fair wage. The farmer's market is not more expensive when you compare it to takeout food. It is not more expensive when you buy only what you're going to eat and eat only what you're going to buy. It is not more expensive when you care about your health. It is not more expensive when you shop there smart. Pick the things you're going to cook. Buy only what you'll eat only what you'll buy, and you'll find the benefits are so much more than trying to put a dollar value on it. Do you know what the grocery store goes on? What is the main pitch of a grocery store? What is in their flyer every week? What is on the big placards in the windows? Price, 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 price. Chicken, 79 cents a pound. It doesn't say chicken, humanely raised, excellent yield, tastes better. It just says 69 cents a pound. Get away from the price thought, and your cooking and your nutrition will be that much better. Let me take the analogy one step further. Let's say you want to learn to play an instrument. You want to learn how to play guitar. So you go buy a cheap guitar, right? You start at the grocery store with the cheap food. You start with the guitar, with the cheap guitar, and you learn to play some chords. But then you get better. As your cooking gets better, still shopping at the grocery store, your guitar playing gets better, but you're still playing this cheap beat up guitar. And as your skill increases, it's inevitable. To me, it's inevitable that you're going to want a better guitar. And you're going to want better guitar strings so that your instrument sounds better, right? Unless you're Willie Nelson, I guess. Unless you're Willie Nelson. That's the only exception I would make. Unless you're Willie and you've been playing the same guitar for decades and it still sounds good. The only exception to this rule is Willie Nelson. And if you're Willie, I need to talk to you about something. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you so much for all the birthday wishes and dishes that were prepared in my honor this week. Oh, I wish I could go through all of them. From Sandy's balsamic chicken breast. Thank you, Sandy. Lana made a French fruit tart for me. Julie found some Alaskan sockeye salmon. Oh, I love that stuff. Danielle did a totally made up. She said I totally made this up because I thought Chef Todd would appreciate something totally made up. You are spot on, Danielle. That's exactly, I love that one. Oh, it's cod spaghetti. I don't know what that is. Sounds good. And here's another thing. Danielle may never make that again, but that's okay, because she's totally making up something else the next day. Don smoked some salmon for me. Chris sauteed some tilapia for me. Bonnie made me a great mushroom and cheese omelet. Ingrid knows that I love creamy shrimp and puff pastry. Gary grilled some beef, peaches, and corn for me. Trudy didn't even need any heat to make me ceviche. Love some ceviche. Danielle made a maple bourbon pork chop for me. That's pretty cool. Morgan went all Cajun with crawfish and smoked chicken Alfredo. Sorry, mouth-watering. Marie got the coals ashy white hot the way that I like and added some wings, some corn, some shrimp skewers. Lily did a baked chicken and veggie dish for me, and Judy steamed up some Maine lobsters in honor for my birthday. Oh, and Patricia, I love this one. Patricia's already putting my new Obedient Outdoor Cooking course to use. She has already become a flame tamer because she's using both types of outdoor heat to make a goat cheese and sun-dried tomato stuffed chicken breast. Patricia, how did you know it was one of my favorites? Thank you. And about 220 other dishes that were cooked for me. I really can't show you all of them, but thank you to everyone that offered their time, their love of cooking for my enjoyment. That's what Carefree Cooking is all about. Plus, I gotta tell you, I am really proud of everyone that has learned to cook this way. And I'm really proud of everyone who has taken on my philosophy of generosity through food. Because when you cook for someone else, you give your time, you give your art, and you give them nutrition and appreciation. So, thank you. Thank you for showing off the skills that you have gathered over the past year. That's what I was really impressed with. Okay, let's get back to today's true or false. The answer here, sweet potatoes are much healthier to eat than white potatoes. Okay, we're going to say mostly true. All right, mostly true. They're very, very similar, okay? People tell me, oh, sweet potatoes are much. See, if you target the word much, then I would say false. If I take the word much out, then it's true. So it's really, really tricky. So if you said true or false today, we're going to give you 10,000 extra points, web cooking classes points. I don't know what you can do with them, but you have 10,000 points. Here's the thing. Both white potatoes and sweet potatoes, they're healthy foods, okay? They're both good for you. I'm tired of people telling me that only the flesh of white potatoes is healthy, and then only the skin of white potatoes is healthy, and you throw out the flesh. So anyway, they're pretty much the same. However, if you're looking for extra health benefits, like regulating your blood sugar, if regulating blood sugar is important to you, if more vitamin A is important to you, if antioxidants in your diet is more important to you, then yes, sweet potatoes are a much better option. Sweet potatoes are generally healthier than regular potatoes in that they have a high amount of vitamin A. They have a lower glycemic index, meaning they're less likely than regular potatoes to sugar spike you, that kind of thing. So both true and false are today, but sweet potatoes are not much better unless you need that glycemic index or vitamin A is really what it's about. Hey, look, if you'd like to know the 5 simple steps that I use in my own home to keep nutritious, delicious food on the menu, along with how to avoid the top 3 mistakes everyone makes when selecting fresh ingredients, how to choose fresh items at the market, how to protect your investment from spoilage, how to use herbs and spices correctly to create flavor profiles in your cooking. If you want to go even deeper than today's class went, well, then you really must register for this week's free online class. It's the one that's going to get you ready for farmers market shopping. It's called How to Use Fresh Seasonal Ingredients to Create Fast, Nutritious Meals in 5 Simple Steps. And all you got to do for the free class is go to webcookingclasses.com/seasonal. That was fun. Wasn't it? I'm so glad to be back. We're going to see you Thursday. We'll be cooking again until Thursday. And then next Tuesday, Carefree Cooks Code, where we take even more steps toward cracking this code. This is Chef Todd Moore reminding you that there's always a method to your fresh cooking success as well. Bye, everyone.